My name is Cameron and Jon Landau.
Well, Sigourney, Slang, thank you so much for those kind, even if untrue words. Greatly appreciate it. You're looking at somebody who, when they were a 7-year-old kid, their parents took them on a trip to California from New York and tried to do all of the tourist things possible, from Venice Beach to Disneyland to right here at Grauman's Chinese. And when I went back home in the years that passed, the memory that stayed with me was this one. The one of being here and being that 7-year-old kid going around and putting my hands and feet in the footprints and handprints that were here. And then in 1997, I premiered a movie here, Titanic. And it was like, oh my God, this little 7-year-old boy is now preparing a movie that they're a small part of at this theater. And I thought that was the end of it all. But today, being here, it touches my heart. It makes me so thankful to my parents, Edie and Eli, who were producers in the film business, who exposed me to all the wonders that the business has to offer, and the power that movie can have to change people's lives, to have them look at our world differently. I am thankful to them. I am thankful to my sisters, Tina and Kathy, and I'm thankful to my wife, Julie, and my sons, Jamie and Jody. And I am thankful to our new partners, and it's not so new anymore, at Disney, for all they've done to support Avatar: Way of Water, and Jim in his singular vision of what the Avatar movies need to be. And I'm thankful to this guy next to me for letting me go on the journey with him to help realize the dreams that he has. And as Sigourney Weaver said, we had close to 4,800 people working on the movie. So there are 2 of us up here on stage today, but I look at when we sign down below and put our hands and feet, and I'm doing it for every one of the people who work on our team, who have made Avatar: The Way of Water possible, who made Titanic possible, and all the other movies. Thank you all very much.
We've got a lot of thoughts flooding through my head right now. A lot of gratitude to our chosen business. Some people call it an industry. I call it a dream job, a fantasy. I still pinch myself every day that I get to go to work and do, this amazing thing. It's done by a team. Members of our team are here. Great cast members, Slang and Sigourney. I've worked with Slang, as you said, what is coming up on 18 years. Sigourney, I don't even want to go there. We were both kids. I've been doing this for 40 years, and we're working with the guys over at Disney now, which has been an incredible pleasure. I have to say, I just want to say, to reiterate what Jon said, you've been amazing partners and very supportive. Fox and the overall umbrella structure at Disney has been great for us creatively in terms of the partnership and in getting the film out there. And I remember, Alan, something that you said, and kind of maybe in the darkest hours. Every film has its darkest hours when we're concerned about getting it done, and budget and all those things. And he said, our most important mandate is quality. Quality. He stood behind that. They stood behind us, and enabled and empowered us to put the quality on the screen and give the audience a really special, unique kind of experience. So I just want to say that up front. I've got a lot of gratitude in my heart right now for our entire team, what we refer to as the Avatar family, because many of them we've worked together with for 15, 16 years or longer. Our acting troupe, our core cast, Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, and obviously Sigourney and Slang. Sigourney now back in a very different role, playing a 14-year-old girl, which at heart and psychologically she basically is. And our newcomers, our younglings, our teenage cast, who were dropped into the middle of this crazy way of making a movie. And Kate Winslet, who we have a 25, 26-year history with, and Cliff Curtis, who's amazing as Tonawari, the chieftain of the new people that we meet in this film. I also have a great deal of gratitude in my heart right now for my support structure, my family, my beautiful wife, Susie, who has stood behind me in everything I've chosen to do for coming up on 27 years now. She's supported me. She comes from a family of pilots. She's a pilot herself, so she refers to it as being on my 6 or being on my 12, either leading or with me as my wingman on my 3 or my 9. And that's just how we've rolled for a long time. It's certainly a dream come true to be here at what I think of as this temple, this shrine, as Slang called it, to the movies. Almost a century ago, 1927, this place was built, and it was one of the most outstanding and memorable openings of a theater in history. As we stand here today, it is the single highest grossing screen in America for our film, Avatar: The Way of Water. So we're very proud of that. I just want to quickly do a shout out to Eli Samaha, who bought the theater when it was going to be converted into a restaurant. People, this is part of our DNA here in Los Angeles. We can't do stuff like that. We've got to keep the dream of cinema alive. And so, you know, we're going to get to put our hands on our feet, apparently our bare feet, according to Sigourney. I didn't check my socks to make sure they didn't have any holes in them and that they matched, but I'm game if John is. Want to say a quick word about John. Our partnership has been a really solid partnership from the beginning. We first worked together on True Lies 30 years ago, 93. And John was at 20th Century Fox, who we're still with indirectly, or directly and indirectly with Disney. And John was the Fox guy. He was the suit. But he and I hit it off so well. We had an innate understanding of production that allowed us to communicate in a way that was very productive and allowed us to get that film done. And so after that, I grabbed John and brought him into my company, and we've been working together since with Titanic, the Avatar films, Alita, so on. And at this point, we're a little bit like an old married couple. We know how to avoid fighting. We know how to divide and conquer and complement each other. And basically, we do divide and conquer. And Don will do one thing, I'll do the other. So we almost never get together to be feted and celebrated together and to appear together like this. It just doesn't really happen that often. So I think this is an amazing culmination of a 30-year partnership to have our hands and feet immortalized here together. You know, when I look at all the ones that have been here for so long, and I think, you know, we're going to make a fossil. You know, I wanted to be a paleontologist when I grew up. I thought fossils were cool. I was heartbroken when I found out that there actually were no dinosaurs, that paleontologists only studied, you know, dead stuff. But we're going to get to make a fossil here, you know. And maybe they'll dig this stuff up in thousands of years from now and wonder who these people were. You know, what made this person so important that they wanted to see their hands in the cement? You know, but I tend to think of it, maybe I'm being optimistic here, but I think, you know, when you look into the distant future, I think our movies, the movies that we make right now and the ones that have already been made, they're still going to survive. With digital storage, there's no reason why they can't last forever. And the things that we do now, yeah, they'll look back and say, okay, that movie is a product of its time. It meant something to those people. But I like to think that a movie like Avatar, because it speaks to all cultures around the world, in every language, in every religious group, it transcends politics. People are responding to it everywhere around the planet right now. Every market that we can get into, people are responding to it. I like to think that people will still respond to that beauty and that intrinsic humanity and emotion around families and so on, you know, long after we're gone. And I think that's part of what keeps us going, is that idea that our art will transcend our short existence here and mean something. And I just want to share one last little thing, which is that we were told by our distributor in Ukraine a couple days ago that we're approaching being the #1 film in the history of Ukraine. Now, think about what that means for a second. That means that when the missiles stop and the power comes back on, people are going to the movie theaters in Ukraine. And they're seeing a movie that has beauty, that has hope, a movie in which, you know, a bunch of high technology bad guys invade you and the plucky, willful underdogs fight back and win. It means something to them. It's, you know, the message was that it's so great that our movie is touching hearts and giving hope in Ukraine right now. That made the whole thing worthwhile for me. Not the money, not the awards, that we're communicating with people we never met that share our humanity, you know. And so we've all been, thank you. You know, we've all been through this pandemic, and we've seen the movie theaters close, we've seen chains go out of business, tumbleweeds blowing in the aisles, and now the movies are back with a resurgence. And I think the success of Top Gun and Wakanda Forever and Avatar, Way of Water show us that we need this as a culture, as a society. We need to go into these theaters, into these big dark spaces with hundreds of strangers and, you know, laugh together, cry together, dream together. And it's just a part of who we are. And I don't think movies are ever going to die. They didn't build a place like this for streaming. They built it for the movies. All right.
Speed off?
All right, so we do this? You're going to talk